Today, we will explore building your own empire.
Welcome to Radiant Genius Podcast. I'm Elsa Mehary, a creative strategist and feminine entrepreneur. Join me and the occasional guest where we will illuminate the path to brilliance in wellness, tech, and business trends. I will be guiding you through the journey of your inner genius to transform you into your most brilliant and badass self. Give yourself permission to live out loud at the brightest level.
Welcome to Radiant Genius Podcast. I'm your host, creative strategist, and entrepreneur, Elsa Mehary. Today, we will explore building your own empire. This is for those who have been in corporate a long time and realizing that maybe you need to change either out of necessity or it's just not hitting the right notes anymore. Let's be real. The US is being gutted, and if you're overqualified, highly skilled, or a person of color, you're first on the chopping block. The system isn't designed to reward excellence anymore. It's rewarding mediocrity, keeping power in the hands of the average and shutting out top talent. So what do? You stop playing their game. You build your own. This episode is your wake-up call. The traditional job market is failing us. And if you don't have a backup plan, you need one fast. Here's the good news. You don't need permission to create your own success. You need systems, strategy, and the right blueprint to launch something that works. First, you must realize your key skill sets that you are naturally gifted at. Why do you need to move differently? The jobs that used to provide stability vanishing. The industries that used to reward top talent overrun with gatekeeping. Promotions are going to people with less experience than you. Pay raises are not keeping up with inflation. And if you're highly skilled, overqualified, maybe over a certain age, or a person of color, you're seen as a threat. They're locking the doors, so it's time to build your own house. This is the new reality. Corporate loyalty is dead. No job is secure. Hiring system is rigged, maybe even controlled by AI. It's about keeping the status quo, not rewarding talent. If you don't own your own income stream, you're always at risk. The new goal is ownership, not climbing a broken ladder. Now, let's get into how to refocus your skills and build your own empire. The good news, you already have valuable skills if you've had a job. The problem, you've been trained to only use them in a way that benefits a company. It's time to flip that and use it for your own success instead. And this might be a mind shift that takes a little bit of time, but it's possible. So I'm going to get into 4 major groups of industries that you already have the skills for. You just have to identify which one works and what are the potential industries that will work with your skills. First, let's talk about high-paid freelancing and consulting. So this is basically this could be any industry. The skills that you already have, instead of it just going to one company, now you outsource it to multiple companies. This takes a level of presentation, visibility, packaging, and then selling. So let's be real. Why settle for an underpaying job with one company when you can outsource to multiple that will pay you thousands for the same level of expertise? If you have these skills, you'd be perfect for HR and recruiting experience. You would be great as a career and resume consultant. If you spent years hiring people, you can teach job seekers how to land higher paying jobs, negotiate better salaries, build killer resumes. There, you can do it on social media. You can start there and then get hired out. I would recommend definitely having the visibility there first as an expert in that field. Tech background, perfect for cybersecurity, AI, or IT. Businesses are desperate for tech security, AI integrations, and IT strategy. Founders are always looking for an IT person as co-founder. If you've worked in tech, companies will pay you big to advise them without needing a full-time job. For years, I was a full-time corporate person, And around 2009, around that time of recession, I went completely freelance, same skills, and I had the same jobs. I had more opportunities because I was working freelance. The downfall is I did not have full-time health insurance. I had health insurance outsourced through an agency. So I still had health insurance. It just wasn't the cushy full-time. But what I had was, in a sense, a different type of job security because they were using half freelancer in most of these companies at that time before the whole industry just totally collapsed. So think about what industries are possibly going through transition. They still need those resources, but they just need them differently. They maybe need them for a shorter period of time so you can work with multiple companies at once. Finance or accounting skills. You would be great in tax and wealth consulting. For business owners, people always need this. People are starting their business. It's how do I set up my business so that I can maximize and make money? And everyone needs to do taxes. So perfect. Small businesses always need help with tax strategy, budgeting, wealth building. If you are good with numbers, this is perfect. And you can charge premium rates. Marketing and PR. This is something every business needs. If you are a marketing person, you would thrive as a high ticket brand and social media strategist. There's so many different levels to this. Visibility is something that everyone needs for their business. And so if you know social media, you can outsource to multiple if you set up consistent formula. And this is just the foundation. This is not necessarily social media manager. This is a strategist, totally different. Businesses, they know this is something they need. They don't know how to approach the market with a consistent action plan. And they need an expert. They need you to help them grow, attract clients, build strong brands. Teaching background. This is something so many people need. Strategy. Now, everywhere there's information. You can type in anything in AI, you can get anything in Google, but having it organized with a plan and teaching you the steps, that is not necessarily out there. People want someone to put it together for them in a course, put the essentials that they need. You can create digital courses with this. You can be a tutor. You can be an educational coach. And it's basically the skill here is breaking down complex topics into simple ones to make them easy to understand. That's a real skill set. Maybe devalued, but it's in how you market yourself. And you can get paid way more than in traditional teaching jobs if that doesn't happen to be available to you at this point. So bottom line, if you've been an employee for years, you have skills that businesses will pay for. So instead of searching for another job, package your expertise, sell it as a service. Let's see. So that is the active business. Obviously, there's many in passive. So let's talk about that for a minute. One of my favorite ways to make money is through digital products and knowledge-based products. And so this is in the same realm, extending from teaching. It's just more passive. You're creating a pre-recorded version of events instead of actively teaching them. So either way is possible. You can do hybrid. This is where you stop trading time for money and you start getting paid over and over. You create it once, you can get paid multiple times. If you've got experience, it could be very niche. You could, how to train your puppy in 6 months, package it, put all the steps together, put it online, DIY, make money on repeat. So many different things. How to sew a wedding gown, very niche, but some people might want to know how to do that just for they're starting a business. Maybe they already know how to sew, but wedding gowns is a particularly special thing that a couple of things don't know how to do. So teaching or coaching experience goes right into online course. So it's just putting your knowledge into one place and packaging, marketing, selling. If you have the ability to explain things clearly and simply, definitely create a course and sell it. If you're a career coach, you can create a course on how to negotiate a higher salary and charge anywhere from $200 to, depending on your market, depending on your audience. If you're good at writing, create an ebook on how to write. Everyone, how many people, you can niche that out to seniors who need to and would want to create a memoir. And you do this with a particular audience in mind, for example. So maybe the pace is slower. Maybe there's check-ins. You create it and tailor it to a specific audience. If you're teaching kids, if you're teaching teenagers, for example. So always obviously have your audience in mind. If you have industry secrets, if you have strategies, shortcuts, package them into like a short digital guide. People will pay for this. We saw this over COVID when people had gym memberships and then all of a sudden you were doing your exercises online. Same systems. If you're great at building communities, you can launch a paid newsletter or membership because people trust your advice. They'll pay to access your insights. If you're a finance expert, you can offer a wealth builders paid community where members get exclusive financial strategies every month. It's endless. So these are just like 100 ideas of like, oh, I have this skill. What could I do? What could I do? You could even start some of these while you have a job. If you're in the office every day, maybe you create it slowly. Maybe it's something that it doesn't need daylight hours, but be creating something now. If you have training or workshop experience, license your training materials to companies. Businesses are constantly looking for training content. If you've even how to create manuals, the systems for that. If you've led workshops, you can sell your slides, your workbooks, your templates to companies. So that's all in. So there's all of this is the first level, right? You have the skill, you're creating the experience. Then another podcast episode or a special training you can find online to how to market, how to package, market, and sell. After you create, package, market, sell. Package, market, sell. A leadership coach, you could package your corporate training materials. So bottom line, if you have knowledge, you can turn that into a product that sells itself. Instead of chasing clients, let the content do the work while you sleep. So what's something that you have, you can be turning it into a digital product. Because trust me, people are already paying for this and you could be one of the people getting paid. Something that is becoming more popular again, just because AI is taking over and less people are going into this. So you actually would stand out is skilled trades. This is hands-on work. Who were the most valuable people during COVID? The necessary workers, they were called. Essential workers, sorry. As long as we're in a physical body, we're going to need physical things. We are going to need a plumber. We are going to need someone to build your house, someone to create XYZ. Not everything is going to be tech product, right? Do you like working with your hands? This is something most people are not paying attention to, but in the next 10 years is going to be very, very valuable, especially as we are putting restrictions on who is allowed to be in this country. For years, we were told the only way forward to success is corporate, right? But let's be real, those jobs are just not the same. There's layoffs, there's burnout, low job security. Meanwhile, skilled trades, booming. People are tired of sitting at desks. They want to be out working. They want real world high value skills. Now, this doesn't mean that you're like necessarily in a field or on a farm. That's another podcast episode, which I'm excited to share about that one. But so many things. Dog walker. If you love working with nature, you could do urban agriculture, rooftop farming, regenerative farming, landscaping. So many people want to know how to do these things. You can either be teaching people how to do them, or you can be the person that sets this up for other people. People want local, organic, self-sufficient food. Food industries, restaurants, farming, food, farm to table. Food is something that, again, as long as we have a physical body, we're going to need these things. It can be the low end or the high end of it, but food, essential. If you're into sustainability, growing your own food, hydroponics, vertical farming, huge opportunity coming up in this. It's really actually right now. People are going to be looking for different ways to get high organic food, non-toxic food. There's so many in the US anyway, chemicals in the food. They want, how can I get access to locally sourced building and fixing things? Traditional, I mentioned a few, plumbing, electrician work, HVAC. These jobs are always in demand and they pay six figures without a college degree. Tradespeople are booked out months in advance. If you have an eye for craftsmanship, there's handmade goods, high-end custom pieces, leather goods, home decor, custom furniture. This would require you to create a brand and visibility around that brand, of course, because people want to know it's exclusive, it's unique, it's special. But definitely there's a high demand for this. People really want this, and they'll pay a premium for it. Metalwork, woodwork, there's, even 3D printing. I saw on Instagram the other day, this mom was showing her, I don't remember, I think it was maybe 9-year-old son, had saved up money, bought a 3D printer, and he was printing out these little rubber organic octopus, different shapes, and making them into keychains and selling them at school. So many things you can do. People want these little things. Really popular right now are these handbag ornaments. And there's a Japanese brand. They're creating these little dolls. I can't remember the name of them, but wildly popular. So while you're not necessarily going to copy that, what's trending right now is these things that hang on your handbag. And that goes in and out of fashion, but it's like you can just take advantage of trends, and that can just be something that you do a one-off pop-up and you do like a small collection of that. Then you can pivot and to do something else, but that's a 3D printed product. So if you can design anything, build anything, print something unique, you can create a profitable niche business. And so people want real skills. The world is shifting in this way, and the demand for skilled tradesmen, craftsmen, hands-on work is growing. And if you don't want to do computer work and you're tired of just being in an office, this could be your move. And right now it's very, very valuable. So next up, if you have an amazing voice, if you love talking all day, you're a Gemini, you could go into media, in your own media. And that's niche, that's owning media, influence, or personal branding. You can teach people about personal branding. Basically, if you have a great voice, an opinion, a skill, you can build an audience. And attention equals power equals money. And it's not about being an influencer. It's not about dancing on TikTok. It's about owning your space online and carving out an identity that could be used for anything. You could host other people. There's so many, someone was telling me the other day, there are so many hip hop artists that have these streaming services and podcasts that have made more money than their album ever made because they own that platform versus their record company owning them. So they've pivoted a long time ago and they're out there. And a lot of them are just having conversations with other famous people, and they're not teaching you. They're just entertaining. It can be anything you want. And it's not going to be instant. If you're famous, it'll be a little faster to the money. But it's a platform. And so if you have these skills, you could, if you're good at talking, start a podcast, a blog, a YouTube channel. And again, it's a whole market you have to study to figure out. Someone else already has the formula of like how to make money on YouTube. So go watch that video. But basically, this is just giving you the basics of like, what can I do? Where can I start? That you may not have thought of. You can also do voiceover recordings. There's so many things. Reading, voiceovers for books, voiceovers for movies. If you have knowledge about or opinions about business, tech, finance, career, literally anything interesting, start creating content around it. People are looking for trusted voices because maybe the media is purchased. So why not make yours the one they listen to? You can get paid for this too. And you monetize it through sponsorship, paid content. digital products. Basically, once you build that audience, it may take a minute to build it, but brands will pay you to talk about their products. Again, you can look all this up on YouTube for the specifics. You can sell your own courses, ebooks, premium content, so many things. Our social media, we already know about that. That can be a whole world unto itself. If you're a consultant, a coach, expert in any field, it's a gold mine. First, you have to be consistent. You have to figure out the formula for what works. Then it's branding, marketing, and selling. So if you're not building an audience, you're missing out on opportunities, money, influence. And the people making real money online aren't just working hard, they're owning their own platform, which is unlike the job that you had and left, you don't own. So what is something you could start talking about today? Trust me, someone's waiting to hear it. And then someone is willing to pay you for your information, your knowledge, your voice. So if you're still waiting for permission, a raise, a promotion, or the right time, wake up. The doors are closing. The people who win in this new economy, the ones taking action now. This system isn't built for us. So let's stop trying to fit in. Start building something for yourself today. Brainstorm how you can pivot your skills. A lot of information in this podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube. DM me on Radiant Genius Pod if you want to set up a meeting. I have step-by-step guides to making your move if you want to launch your own thing. And just remember, everyone can be a leader. The only true barrier is visibility, whether it's through your voice, your visuals, the quiet impact of your actions. You have the power to shape the future. And this next decade, we're going to be seeing more visionary disruptors, more truth tellers, more revolutionaries, more people who don't fit the old mold. Are you ready to step into that role? If this episode resonated with you, let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Elsa Loves You or Radiant Genius Pod. Share your thoughts. Drop me a DM. How do you see the digital leadership evolving? What kind of leader are you ready to become? I also have a legacy startup bundle. If you're just starting a business, different packages that you can purchase to get you from stuck to self-sufficient, help you set up, no fluff, no wasted time. The tools that you need to set it up, build your multiple streams of income, and start securing your future. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Radiant Genius podcast. Until next time, keep shining, keep creating, and remember, you don't need permission to be brilliant.
Thanks for listening, sending soothing calm to your nervous system. Hit subscribe and join me on this feminine-led entrepreneurial journey. The Radiant Genius Podcast, where we discuss all things brilliant.